Hey everybody, Sheridan Lyons Verse. I am the author of The Relationship Game, Gems from My Journey. I wanted to talk a little bit about the spirit of deception that has taken over much of our society. Everything that we're seeing now, including a lot of the stuff on social media, is for the most part, a lot of it is a lot of lies and deception. We're not actually seeing what we think we're seeing. And I wanted to talk about the doorways that we open up to deception and lies, and how sometimes when we open these doors, we end up cursing ourselves, bringing a curse on ourselves, because we don't realize that we're opening these doors up. And anytime the enemy, which is demonic influence, operates, it has to have our agreement in order to do so. We have to come into agreement with these demonic spirits in order for them to operate. And one of the ways we come into agreement with them is to open the door in some way, something that we are doing, something that we're taking in, something that we are actively participating in, that will cause that door to be open and allow those demonic influences to step in and start operating in our lives. And one of the things, and I know this is probably going to rub some folks the wrong way, but it's the truth. One of the things that we are doing as women is this makeup. This RuPaul makeup that is so thick, eyelashes reaching the ceiling, you don't know who that person is under there. It is an illusion. It is deception. Now, we know he does it because he's a man covering up the fact that he's a man. But we're women. Why are we covering up the way we look to that extent? Why are we creating an illusion? And then when we get home and wash it all off, you don't know who that person is. You couldn't pick them out in a lineup because you've seen something that's not there. We have catered to the desires of the evil hearts of men for a long time. Women were nothing more than possessions and objects. Men desired different things from women. They voiced that as women. We're basically always succumbing to the whim of some man or the desire of some man. We were created that way. God told Eve, your desire is going to be to your husband. So we hang on to every word of a man as women. And the words of men were given by God. They have an authority to speak over their families and children. That's why it's important, men, that you learn that and you understand that when you speak over your children and your wife, it creates things. It causes things to be what you said, because God gave Adam the authority to name everything, and everything he named kept that name. It operated however he named it. And as women, we do the same thing when men name us. And men have named many women many things. That's how come we have prostitutes. The evil hearts of a man's desire. Sex, no strings attached. I give you a little money, and you give me what I'm after. And women said, okay, we can do that. Then we have nowadays videos with men, and they got women on there half naked, almost all naked, shaking this and dropping that, and calling them names, female dogs, bitchs, and whatever else they can find to think of to call them. So women said, okay, we can be that. And now you have women calling themselves female dogs and proud about it. They call each other that, and it's a funny thing, endearing even, to call each other a female dog. But this is something that was spoken over women, and now they've become what was spoken. Men desire their visual, they desire beauty. But society says beauty is one thing. They've set the status quo. Then we had RuPaul come in with his illusion to cover up the fact that he's a man. And now we got women walking around here with the RuPaul face. You don't know what's under there. And then they get angry with you when you don't recognize them without it, or you don't prefer them without it. But the truth is, you're selling an illusion. It's not real. Jesus cursed the fig tree because it looked like it had figs on it. But upon closer examination, he saw there was nothing on it. No figs there. Illusion. So he cursed it. And when you deal with illusion and lies, which is what a lot of this makeup is, you're completely covering up whoever is up under there, the real person. Now, we know these other people do it to cover up the fact that they're not who they say they are. So why, as women, are we doing it? Why do the eyelashes have to be up to the ceiling? And I'm not knocking you. Don't take it that way, please. I'm just trying to explain how we open up doors, how we walk in deception and don't even realize it. We have women, ministers, pastors, preachers in the pulpit with all this stuff on. You don't know what they look like. And they say they preaching the truth. But they're not the truth. They're an illusion standing up there. Covered up, hidden, deceptive. You don't know who they are. You probably couldn't pick them in a police lineup. You couldn't pick them out if they took it off. But if you're going to teach and preach truth, you have to come all the way with it. And selling an illusion, even in something like that, it's a lie. It's not the truth. That's not how you look. None of us had anything to do with what color our eyes is, what color our skin is, what type of hair we have. We had no say-so in how we look. But we're being told that this is something you have to do in order to get what you want. There's a man online, Kevin something, that's literally telling women that if you look a certain way, you have kids, you're a certain age, you're a certain dress size, there's a certain man that you cannot have. He's speaking for the most part of men with money, like, you know, men with money are on some certain status that is untouchable for a woman who's got a child. He asked them questions like, on a scale of 1 to 10, what are you? Most of the women that I saw, I didn't watch too many of them, they were not wearing heavy makeup, you know, their hair wasn't done, looked like they might have just been chilling at home or something like that. So they weren't done up, so to speak. And he asked them that question, and most of them, even with that, you know, they felt like, hey, I look pretty decent, you know. I would say I'm above average. And he shot them down. He said, you're not, you're average. And you probably wouldn't be able to get one of these type of guys. And then he threw Beyonce out there. I guess Beyonce is the 10 in his world. But even with that, if it's all about looks, Beyonce married Jay-Z. I haven't seen him on any magazine as the world's sexiest man. So if you're going to compare it and say looks is the thing that's going to get you there, that right there kills your theory. If she's a 10 and we know he's not, I mean, you can't use that argument. But to tell these women that they are just average simply because they are not a certain dress size or they don't have a whole bunch of makeup on their face and hair and stuff all on, they don't have their look going, it's crazy. And women, we got to be happy with what God gave us, work with what He gave us, and be content with that. Look in the mirror at yourself before you put all of that stuff on. And just look at yourself and see what it is that you don't like or you dislike so much that you want to hide it from everybody, that you want to portray this image that's really an illusion. It's not real. It's not there. Just trying to help somebody, because you're opening up doors. You're bringing a curse on yourself because you're dealing in deception. It is deception for a man to look at you and think you got whatever it is you got on, only to find out that everything you got on is washed off, pulled off, or whatever. It's deception. That's what the men do when they're trying to trick the men into thinking they're women, and it is deceptive. Somewhere we allowed men to speak that. Now we are becoming that. And it's not the will of God that we cover ourselves up like that and create an illusion and deceive. So I just wanted to share that with you. Thanks for listening. Bye.